Want to live in Canada with your common law partner? SEPIMMIGRATION makes it simple. Today, we're going to dive deep into the process of common law sponsorship in Canada, breaking down every essential step you need to take to turn your dream into reality. Whether you're just getting started or you've already begun gathering documents, this guide will offer clarity. No fluff, just the facts that matter. First off, what exactly does common law sponsorship mean in the context of Canadian immigration? In simple terms, if you and your partner have been living together for at least one continuous year in a relationship that mirrors marriage, you can apply for sponsorship. But there's more to it than just sharing a home. Common law sponsorship in Canada is about proving that your lives are truly intertwined. You need to provide evidence that shows your relationship goes beyond just living together under one roof. This includes sharing financial responsibilities like rent, utilities, and other expenses, as well as maintaining a commitment to building a life together. It's important to remember that Canadian immigration authorities are very specific about what counts as a common law partnership. You and your partner must have been living together in a conjugal relationship for at least 12 consecutive months without long separations. Temporary separations for work or family obligations are allowed, but you need to show proof that you were still in a committed relationship during those times. So, if you've been living apart for extended periods or have had an on and off relationship, this may complicate your case. Unlike some other immigration programs, the rules for common law sponsorship are strict, and they require a high level of proof to ensure that your relationship is genuine and meets the criteria. To build a solid case for common law sponsorship, you'll need to provide a well-organized set of documents that clearly demonstrate your life together. Immigration officials will be looking for evidence that proves your cohabitation and your commitment to each other. This can include things like joint bank accounts, shared utility bills, leases or rental agreements in both names, or even affidavits from family and friends who can confirm the authenticity of your relationship. The more comprehensive your documentation, the smoother the process will go. Let's take a look at the sponsorship requirements. First, the sponsor must be at least 18 years old and either a Canadian citizen or a permanent resident living in Canada. The sponsor also needs to prove that they can financially support their partner. This means you cannot be receiving social assistance unless it's for a disability. These are the basic eligibility requirements, but the process involves more than just meeting these criteria. As the person being sponsored, you'll need to demonstrate that you've been living with your sponsor in a conjugal relationship for at least 1 year. This isn't something you can skip over, as Canadian immigration authorities take this very seriously. If there's a gap in your proof or if your documents aren't complete, your application could be delayed or even rejected. Now let's talk about the actual application process. The first step is gathering all of the necessary documentation. This includes proving your relationship with documents like joint financial records, lease agreements, utility bills, and any other evidence that shows you've been living together for at least 1 year. You'll also need to provide identity documents, such as passports or birth certificates, and any other paperwork that proves you meet the eligibility criteria for sponsorship. It's important to stay organized throughout this process. Immigration officials will be looking closely at your documentation, so any inconsistencies or missing information could result in delays. Once you've gathered all of your documents, you'll need to submit your application to Immigration, Refugees, and Citizenship Canada, IRCC. The processing times for common law sponsorship applications can vary depending on several factors, such as your location and the complexity of your case. On average, the process takes around 12 months, but this timeline can fluctuate. For couples living together in Canada, applications are typically processed faster, while those living apart may face longer wait times. It's important to keep in mind that incomplete applications or missing documents can cause significant delays, so getting it right the first time is crucial. At SEPIMMIGRATION, we specialize in helping couples navigate the complexities of the sponsorship process. Our team is here to guide you through every step, from gathering the right documents to submitting a thorough and complete application. We work hard to ensure that your application is as strong as possible, minimizing the chances of delays or rejection. Now, if you're currently in Canada on a student visa, you might be wondering whether you can bring your common law partner with you. The answer is yes. Your partner can apply for an open work permit, which allows them to work while you study. However, just like with common law sponsorship, you'll need to prove that you've been living together for at least 1 year before applying. Having the right documentation is key here as well. You'll need to show that you and your partner have been cohabiting continuously for at least 12 months in a marriage-like relationship. Be prepared to provide supporting documents, such as a lease, utility bills, or joint bank accounts, to show that your relationship is genuine and meets the requirements. There are a few common misconceptions about common law sponsorship that we need to clear up. One of the biggest myths is the belief that living together for a short period or on and off counts as a common law relationship. This is not the case in Canada. The 1-year cohabitation period must be continuous, without any long breaks. While short separations for work or family reasons are permitted, you'll need to show that you maintained your relationship during that time. Another misconception is that once you've lived together for a while, you automatically qualify for common law status. In reality, Canadian immigration authorities are very strict about this requirement. You need to meet the 1-year timeline, or your application could be denied. It's also important to note that the process of sponsoring a common law partner is different from other types of sponsorship, such as family sponsorship or dependent sponsorship. In the case of common law sponsorship, the focus is on proving that you and your partner have been living together in a marriage-like relationship for at least 1 year. This is in contrast to other types of sponsorship, which may have different eligibility criteria and requirements. Now, about the processing times. While the general timeline for common law sponsorship is around 12 months, this can vary depending on a number of factors, including where you live and how complete your application is. If your application is missing important documents, or if there is a high volume of applications, you may experience delays. That's why it's essential to ensure that your application is as complete and thorough as possible. At SEPIMMIGRATION, we're here to help you avoid common mistakes that can cause delays and make the process more stressful than it needs to be. So, are you ready to take the first step toward living in Canada with your partner? The sooner you start the process, the sooner you'll be able to begin your new life together. SEPIMMIGRATION is here to help you every step of the way, from gathering the right documents to answering your questions and making sure your application is strong and complete.